formulas within Smartsheet. Now, as any of you can attest, as soon as you start learning a few basics of formulas within Smartsheet or Excel or whatever platform that uses a spreadsheet, news travels very quickly within your company in the office like, hey, so-and-so knows how to do this. They're a guru. And then they just start giving you more and more work. Hey, help so-and-so with this project. Help so-and-so with this project. And that's a good thing. You become to be noticed as the guru within your company because you know even just some of the basics of formulas within a spreadsheet. And when you learn the basics of formulas within a spreadsheet, that really does put you leagues above the rest. Because in all companies, let's be honest, you have your button pushers and you have your operators. And both are vital. Both are very important within a company. But button pushers, they're a dime a dozen. But operators, that's where the pay raises are. That's where the better job opportunities are. And a button pusher, they're just someone, they just click where you tell them to click, do what they're supposed to do, and that's it. But an operator, those are ones that are creating a solution within their company. And they're thinking about how is this formula going to affect this sheet? And how is this formula going to affect this Smartsheet report and this Smartsheet dashboard? Those are the people that get the pay raises. Those are the people that get better job opportunities. And it all starts with knowing even just the basics of formulas. Because people, let's face it, formulas are, people don't like them. Most people don't. I actually do. I enjoy them. But most people are like, they're just like, I want to shy away from it. But if you know just the basics of formulas, and I'm going to show you just the basic way of building formulas out today in this episode, that will start you down the path of becoming that operator in your company. And last but not least, formulas just in general for your company. They automate your solution. It saves you hours and hours and hours. And not only does it save you time, but it saves you from human error. All right, let's dive into these formulas. Hey guys, welcome to Workflow My Workload. I am your guide, Justin Orazio, and today we're going to look at the basics of creating formulas within Smartsheet. Now, this came from popular demand. One of them was actually Debbie, and so Debbie, I created this video for you and for everyone wanting to know how to use, Justin, how do I use formulas within Smartsheet, even the basics? And if you're new to this channel, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. And this channel is devoted to how to utilize your Smartsheet for your company or your business. And if you haven't yet already, there's a link down in the bio below. It's a free full-length lesson, 45 minutes long, of pure Smartsheet content of things and topics of Smartsheet that people have asked me about more than anything else. It's all the tried and true questions that people coming to me again and again and again. I go through all of those things within Smartsheet. I share my screen. I show how to do forms. I'm doing sheets. I'm doing all these different things. That's found in the bio below. It's absolutely free. And if you have been watching some of these episodes and you're liking it, maybe you signed up for that free lesson, 45 minutes long, and you're like, Justin, I want more. Well, great news. I have now officially launched a course called Smartsheet Made Simple. It's been out for a couple months now, and it's gaining momentum. I'm having students sign up, and I'm getting really good feedback from them. And that full-length course is also found in the bio below. It's hours and hours and hours of content, and it's just 5 years that I've learned in Smartsheet and compiled all into that course. It's gold. It's really good stuff. But don't take my word for it. Take it from the students that have been signing up and enjoying that course. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the basics of formulas within your Smartsheet. All right, let's dive into these formulas. And I already created a sheet here for you guys, kind of a sandbox, a playground, so to speak, so I can show you the basics of the formulas within Smartsheet. And I'm going to have a screen to the right, and that's going to follow along with the formulas that I'm building. And it's just going to help you with the step-by-step process. So with formulas within Smartsheet, all formulas within Smartsheet start with an equal sign. So if you go into a cell, it can be any cell in any sheet, you just put in an equal sign on your keyboard, and you can start typing in the word sum. And sum is probably the most common formula in all of Smartsheet and probably even in Excel. For those of you that don't know, sum also means to add. And so I'll do that again. When you put in the equal sign in any cell, just start typing the word sum, and see all these options start popping up for me. See all these right here? Keep typing the word sum, and then I can use my arrow keys to choose which one I want and click enter, or I can just use my mouse and click it. But you do have to choose something. So we'll choose sum. And inside of here is what's called the argument. So see how it says equal sum parentheses? Within the parentheses is what's called the argument. So it's wanting to know, hey, what do you want to add? What do you want to sum? And when you're building out any formula, and this is the nice thing about Smartsheet, Excel does not do this, but Smartsheet does. Inside here, it shows you, it highlights what section you're on. So like right here, it says in yellow, number 1. And then in the arguments, it gives you a description of what that is, number 1, the number or range of numbers to add. And if you want even more clarification, and this really helps with the complex formulas, go ahead and click on Learn More. And what's really nice is Smartsheet always gives you at least three examples of the formula you're trying to build out. So right here, sum. So it's saying right here, equals sum 12, 45, 72. In the description, sums a series or adds a series of numbers, 12, 45, and 72. And then that's the result. 12 plus 45 plus 72 is 129. And then it gives you the example that you can use up here. Maybe this is within your spreadsheet, and it's saying equals sum transaction total column. So transaction total column right here, and transaction total column again. And we're going to get into this in a little bit, but when you have a column name with a semicolon and then that same column name, that's saying you want to sum everything inside this entire column, called transaction total. So equals sum transaction total a second time. It sums or adds the transaction total column. So it's taking all of these numbers right here and it's adding them all up, all of these right here, which equals to be 8,570. All right, I just want to show you that little bit that you can do with any formula. Again, you just click into your formula and click on Learn More, and it takes you right to it. So let's go and add some real numbers here. Let's go and add these three numbers. So we know 2 plus 3 is 5, and 5 plus 5 is 10. So we know our answer, which I'll have in the green column here, should be 10. So let's go ahead and write our formula in here. Equal sign from the keyboard. Let's start typing the word sum. We're going to click on it. Got to open parentheses. And you can, there's a couple ways of doing this. You can actually click on the cell that you want to add. So just click it. You can do the plus sign on your keyboard. Click on the next cell you want to add. Click the plus sign. And we'll click on this one. Now a couple things to notice here. Each cell, it gave it a different color. In other words, each argument has its own color. So this is very helpful when you're dealing with a formula that's adding a bunch of stuff on your sheet. It colors everything so it keeps it nice and organized for you. This is very, very helpful when you're dealing with big formulas. And as you notice here, pancake at row. So that's saying this cell right here is pancake at row. And then the pink one is sunshine at row, because the pink one is found in column sunshine, and it's at the same row as our formula. It's at the same row as our formula. And then you have price at row in green. Here it is in green, and here's price. So price at row. So I'm going to click, all you have to do is click enter. You can close it with the parentheses if you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and click enter on my keyboard, and there's our answer, 10. And so one thing to keep in mind, and it's in Smartsheet is being smart about it, it's helping you, is it's saying pancake at row. In other words, wherever the formula is at, it's adding these columns at this row right here. It's adding everything in this row that you've selected. Now, if I wanted to have this same formula somewhere else, say way up here, I could not do add at row. If I tried to do add at row, I copy my formula here. If I put it way up here and I put in the same formula, add at row, it's just adding these cells at the same row, but there's no data here. So if I wanted to have my formula live up here, but I wanted to add the information down here, I got to change this up a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. So we know that we want to add 2 plus 3 plus 5. And we know that 2 is in the column called pancake. So I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to take out at row, and I'm simply going to put the number of the row that 2 exists. So right now, 2 is at row 12. And 3 is at row 12, and 5 is at row 12. So I'm going to go into here, double click on my formula. For column pancake, I'm literally just going to put the number 12, and then I'm going to do the same with these other two. Now I'm going to, on sunshine, the sunshine column, I'm going to put the number 12, and then at price column, I'm going to put the number 12. As you notice here, it grabbed them right here because we're doing it at row 12. Column pancake, row 12. Column sunshine, row 12. Column price, row 12. Click enter, and there's our answer. Okay, let's go and delete this one. And another thing you can do is, instead of having to do a plus for each one, you can do what's called a range. So I'm going to do equals sum. I'm going to click on the first one I want to add, and I'm going to hold the button down on my mouse, the left button, and I'm just going to drag out everything I want to add. Now, as you notice here, all it did was it took pancake at row and then price at row, and it put a semicolon in between. This is what's called a range. A range. So anytime you have a group of cells where you have a semicolon in between, that is considered a range. And the nice thing, I'm going to click enter so I can show you. There's our answer 10. The nice thing about a range is you can drag this and cover everything you want to cover. Maybe I want to add these, not just this, but add these together. I just grab the box in the corner here where it shows a little block. You can go as big or as small as you want with this. I'm going to click enter. Now it's 20 because it's adding both of these at the same time. All right, so that's a sum formula, the most common formula that you'll find. Now let's do what's called a sum if. A sum if. What that means is you're going to sum something, you're going to add something if certain criteria is met. So let's say we have these numbers over here. Let's say I only want to add the numbers that have the name shoes in it. So 5 goes with pants, that's not shoes. 10 goes with shirt, that's not shoes. 7 goes with shoes. Here we go. But now we all know that the answer is going to be 7 because it corresponds with the word shoe in the same row. Shoes in the same row. So let's go ahead and put it right here. I'm going to do equals sum, and now I'm going to type in if, or you can select it right here. I'm going to click if. Now our argument on the inside, the first thing it wants to find, and it's highlighted in yellow, is the range. The range, the group of cells to evaluate. So this is asking for this specific formula, sum if, it's asking what range of cells do you want to evaluate to show shoes. So I'm going to go ahead and click right here and make my range. The next thing I'm going to do is put a comma, because if you notice here, each argument is separated by a comma. And as soon as I put my comma in there, the yellow jumped from range to criterion because now it knows I'm in the second argument, which is called criterion. And this is deciding, okay, what are you wanting to find? Is it shoes? Is it shirt? Is it pants? Is it whatever? It doesn't know. So I'm gonna let it know what it needs to know. And I'm gonna let it know the criterion. I want it to be shoes. So when you're dealing with words within your spreadsheet, you're going to want to put a quotation. So quotation, type in the word shoes, exactly how it's spelled, and then we're going to close it with another quotation. Then I'm going to put another comma so I can get to my third argument and final argument here, the sum range. Another comma. Now we're in sum range. So put a comma right here. And now I'm going to sum the actual range of cells that I want added, which are these guys right here. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag. So sum if. So we're going to sum everything in pink where shoes is found in this range. So I'm going to click enter. Answer is 7 because 7 corresponds with shoes. That is a sum if formula. Now, instead of doing summing, instead of adding, maybe we just want to count. So I'm going to double click into here. We're going to do a different formula now called count. So I'm going to click equals. I'm going to type in the word count. Now we're not adding, we're just counting. There's a difference. So I'm going to click count. And maybe I want to count pants, shirts, belt, shoes. There's 4 objects here, 4 cells. I'm just going to click and drag. Click enter. And it's counting 4. Maybe I want my range to be bigger. Just back this up a little bit. And grab this and move my range however I want it to be. Now it's 8. You can also do a count if. Just do equal sign, count if. And we're going to count something if certain criteria is met. So maybe I want to count, let's see here. Maybe I want to count all of the information in here that has the word pants in it. So it goes pants, shirt, pants, shoes. So we know pants is in here twice, so our answer should be 2. But let's go ahead and do that. So we got count if, and I'm going to choose, click and choose the range. Do a comma, quotation, and let's do pants. Close it with another quotation, and let's click enter. 2. And maybe we want to change it. We want to do shirt. You can just highlight what you want to change, start typing, shirt. 1. Because there's only 1 shirt within this range, but there's 2 pants within this range. That's why it's only 1, because we're looking for shirt. Okay. Now you're saying, okay, Justin, but why do I really need formulas if I can just do simple math? Well, if you spend any length of time in any spreadsheet, you know there can sometimes be a buttload of information. And as I mentioned earlier, to save your company literally hundreds, if not thousands of hours of time, and even more importantly, human error, you're going to want to use formulas. So I went ahead and put in some columns here that has just a ton of information. And to speed up formulas, what you can do is maybe we want to add data 1, data 2, and data 3. Maybe we want to add everything in this row. 785 plus 572 plus 4. So I'm going to do equal. Type sum. Open parentheses. Now we're in the argument. I'm just going to click and drag. I'm going to click enter. And it's 1,361. Now what's cool about formulas is if you click into the cell where the formula is at, hey, lets you know, hey, this is a type of formula in there. But see this little block right here? I'm going to take my mouse, I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to drag it down. And it pulled that formula all the way down. Now it's adding everything at that row. And this only works if you're doing a formula at row, because it's pulling everything down at that row. It's adding everything at that row. And you're saying, hey, Justin, that's cool, but if I have thousands of rows of information, or if I'm having rows of data coming in, coming out constantly in my sheet, I don't want to have to constantly be dragging my formulas up and down. Well, no need to worry there. Smartsheet has come up with a fantastic hack. A lot of people don't know about this. So I got all this information still down here. What you can do is right-click into any one of these cells that has your formula in it. I'm going to right-click. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom called Convert to Column Formula. Watch what happens when I do this. It dropped that formula all the way down the column. And the reason this is so helpful is if you have a sheet where rows of data are constantly being added, even if it's every second, the formula will automatically be created for you and automatically do the math for you. It's extremely helpful. And most formulas can do this, where you take a formula and you convert it to a column formula. And if you want to go back, you can go back to cell formula. You can go back to column formula. And if you want to, hey Justin, I want to edit that column formula, just right click into it, click edit column formula, and then you can make a slight change. So maybe you want everything to be with that, and you want it to be plus 10. And watch, all these numbers are going to change. 10 is going to be added to all these numbers. There you go. And that is the basics of building out a formula within Smartsheet. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll have future episodes coming out of more complex formulas, but today I just wanted to cover the basics of formulas. And if you haven't yet already, please sign up for that free lesson I created for you guys, found in the bio below. And again, if you've been enjoying these episodes and maybe you've already signed up for that lesson, I actually got a full-length course that covers everything within the core of Smartsheet. And that's also found in the bio below. So please check that out. All right, you guys, take care and God bless.